There is a silence in history, a 17-year void between the childhood and the public life of Jesus of Nazareth. The Gospels are silent, but the earth does not forget. Today we venture into the forbidden text, into the secret teaching that reveals not only the man Jesus, but the cosmic Christ. What happened in the caves of the Dead Sea? Who prepared the physical body to receive a God? Welcome to the revelation of the cosmic Christ and the mystery of the Essenes. What you are about to hear will change your understanding of the most incandescent moment in human history. To understand the advent of Christ, we must go back thousands of years. Humanity is not an accident, it is a divine evolution. From Atlantis to the Christian era, we have witnessed a dual spectacle. Progress of reason, but a delay in spiritual clairvoyance. The Spirit descended into matter. Greece was the final stage of this descent, a radiant temple inhabited by semi-divine men, yet on the brink of the abyss. The decline of Rome showed the danger. Man plunged into bestiality. A formidable transformation was necessary, an ascent toward the summits of the soul. Previous revelations acted from astral worlds, but Christianity had to manifest in the physical world to transfigure it. Imagine a waterspout. The wind draws up the sea, and the sea absorbs the wind. So was Christ, a vortex where the powers of heaven and earth united. In this metaphor, the Jewish race represents the earthly counterpart. Like a column of fire, they preserved the monotheistic idea against idolatrous nations. Israel was the endangered vessel awaiting the incarnation of a God. But how do we know this today? Through the four Gospels. They are not contradictions, but four angles of the same truth. As Goethe said, what is authentic if not what is eternally beautiful and true? Matthew and Luke describe the Master Jesus, his human nature. Mark and John reveal his spiritual and divine nature. John especially is the metaphysical gospel, the one that hears the inner word vibrating in every modulation of Christ's life. Together they form a complete image, like four photographs of the same sacred tree. The lineage of Jesus is not only of blood, but spiritual. Physically, he was the supreme flower of the people of Judah. But his soul had passed through numerous incarnations. An ancient tradition reveals an astonishing secret. The Magi of the East, disciples of Zoroaster, recognized in the infant of Bethlehem the reincarnation of their own master. The prophet who proclaimed the solar word as Ahura Mazda in the heights of Alborz was reborn in Palestine to embody it in all its splendor. Jesus grew up in silence, an adolescent who unfolded only inwardly. In the mountains of Galilee, among white lilies, he had visions. He saw a star that became a sun, and at its center a human figure combining the majesty of the King of Kings with the gentleness of the eternal woman. He knew it contained his destiny, but he still did not know who he was. What did Jesus do from 13 to 30? The Gospels are silent, but esoteric tradition speaks. Only the Essenes could initiate the Master Jesus. They dwelled on the shores of the Dead Sea in Engaddi, a semicircular terrace beneath 300-meter cliffs. They were therapists, physicians of the soul. There, Jesus was initiated into the prophetic tradition of Israel and the mysteries of the Magi of Babylon. He read the story of Moses not as letters, but as the thunder of the stars. At 30, he had the definitive vision. He remembered that 1,000 years earlier he had been Zoroaster. He understood the decline of the races, the suffering of humanity abandoned by the gods. Then he saw a black cross floating between the Dead Sea and the sky. A voice said, "Offer yourself as a sacrifice, embrace the cross." The body of the Master Jesus had been tempered for 10 years by the Essenes to receive God. We pause for a moment to speak of the esoteric meaning of the cross of Christ. It transcends the historical, symbolizing the union of the divine, vertical, with the human, horizontal, and the inner alchemy of the soul. It represents the death of the lower ego to allow spiritual rebirth, the reconciliation of opposites, and the unconditional love that transforms the being. We arrive at the pivotal moment, the baptism of the Jordan. It was not a simple cleansing ritual, it was the mystery of the incarnation. Jesus immersed himself in the muddy waters. In that solemn silence, the incalculable occurred. The transcendent self of the Master Jesus left his physical body, drawn into the solar aura. Simultaneously, the solar genius, the sublime being we call Christ, took possession of the abandoned body. The Essenes saw a blinding radiance like an archangel plunging into the river. John the Baptist, seeing Jesus emerge, beheld a dove of incandescent light above his head. He heard the voice, "Behold my beloved Son, today I have begotten him." The solar word had descended into the flesh, but this was only the beginning. In the next video, we will reveal the secret teaching Christ imparted to his apostles, the mysteries of Lazarus, and the true meaning of the Transfiguration. Don't miss it.